Okay, ready?
Yeah, I guess.
This time on Finnegan's Garage, we're working on the Green Hornet. What year is this thing?
1972.
A 72 AMC Hornet Sportabout station wagon. You're not getting laid in this, are you?
No, not a chance.
Might as well make it faster then. Let's go to work.
Poor Hornet. It gets ragged on so much.
It does. Oh, I did that.
So what do you want to know about it?
Okay, Green Hornet. What's she packing?
She is packing 258 cubic inch, 4.2 liter inline six, basically a Jeep motor. It has a single barrel carburetor and one of the worst exhaust manifolds I've ever seen in my life. And it lacks power. It needs a lot more.
Look at that. They touch each other. That is fantastic. Let's preheat all of the air and fuel going into the motor.
Gotta love inline sixes.
Man.
And one thing that's special about this motor, notice it's painted red because it's a California car and they painted the blocks red on the AMCs for California. Don't know why, just something they did.
That's weird. But I appreciate the info.
If it's useful to you.
So, we already know you've run, what'd you run in the quarter mile? 19
Ran
seconds?
a 19.057 at 70 miles an hour. It was not exciting.
Okay, so she runs 19s in the quarter. Let's find out why. Let's put an air-fuel ratio gauge and a wideband O2 sensor in this thing and find out how it's running.
So you're going to see how good of a job I did rebuilding the carburetor one night at the hotel on Power Tour.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Sounds perfect.
And find out how she's running, decide whether or not we want to improve the existing parts before we go right to bolting on a 2-barrel carb and a new header and a new intake.
Should be interesting.
And then when it goes only marginally faster, we'll go right to nitrous until we put the rods on the pavement, because ultimately, what's your plan for this car?
Well, the plan down the road is to put a 5.7 liter Hemi with hopefully a Pro Charger in it at some point and scare people at red lights.
Are you listening, Pro Charger? Hemi. Hornet. Okay, step 1 in the Green Hornet project is to find out how the car is running. It's got a 1-barrel carburetor on an inline 6. It's pretty much junk, but before we go spray it down with nitrous, let's see if it runs correctly. So what we're going to do is install an AutoMeter wideband air-fuel ratio gauge into the car. That'll mean drilling and welding into the exhaust pipe to install this sensor. Bit of wiring into the car, mount the gauge somewhere cool. And this thing's pretty trick actually, because not only does it give you a digital readout, it'll also give you this cool little bar graph thing. It also has an output. If you're really trick, you can hook this up to your data acquisition system, and this will give a 0 to 4 volt output so that your data system will read what this is reading. So later on you can plug in your laptop and look really cool in the pits when you've got your 19-second Hornet wagon ready for a tune-up. So here's the instructions. We're reading them. They're pretty cool. Lots of warnings like don't use leaded gas, don't use nitromethane. Are you going to use nitromethane?
Just nitrous, no methane.
You'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Hey, if you're up for it.
It's not my engine. Alright, let's go put a hole in the exhaust pipe and figure out where we're going to mount this thing. AutoMeter assumes this is a high-end project car with a stainless steel exhaust system, which is why they've included that really nice stainless steel O2 sensor bung for us to weld into the downpipe here of our inline 6. They even recommend TIG welding, which, yeah, if this was stainless to stainless, I might put some effort into that and TIG weld it. But for the Green Hornet,
only the best.
We're going to be going into that rusty mild steel downpipe, which we'll get the rust off of it, but we're probably just going to MIG weld that bung in there because it's temporary and who cares.
Plane if I'm not wearing safety glasses, are they?
You're nowhere near that. Feel away.
It is on forward, not reverse, right?
I don't know. You're holding it.
Yep, we're good. Well, this car I found out on Power Tour from an AMC nut that it's actually an SST or an X car because it has 2 mirrors on it, one on each side, and the speedometer actually goes to 120 miles an hour. So this car is actually rare. Who knew?
I only see one mirror.
Well, one's missing. One fell off.
But the numbers on the speedo don't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Is this gonna... It's gonna bottom out before I get to that last step.
Maybe.
Oh man, do you hate when that happens?
Look what you did.
I failed.
That's not one of the better chucks on drills. So we won't yet say it's your fault, because it could have been the chuck.
I think that's gonna bottom out before I get to the last step.
Oh well, just get close and then we'll give you a carbide bit to and some safety glasses. Oh, unless I got a bigger one of those. I
Yeah,
might.
that's what I was thinking.
Keep going, I'll see if I have a bigger one. So according to my buddy Daniel, the reason the intake is bolted to the exhaust is because it won't run otherwise. See how the fuel has to make a right-hand turn below the carburetor and then go all the way down here, make another right-hand turn. He says the fuel falls out of suspension because of that design, and so we're heating everything with the exhaust to make sure it all keeps working. And I say to that, why not just make a taller hood and point the intake up? Who can I ask that question to? AMC's no longer around.
Yep, there's nobody to ask. There's a few guys that
Steve
know a lot
Dulcich.
about AMC though.
Steve Dulcich?
There you go.
Is it Dulcich's fault?
Dulcich will know.
Probably.
He will know why.
Dulcich will know why we can't
Yeah.
ask somebody to make a taller hood for this.
It just goes against our hot rodding nature to preheat air going into the motor.
It's weird. Alright, finish your hole.
We want cold air.
I forgot to mention, all of my unibits are wasted from drilling through a stainless steel beer keg to make a gas tank for
I
Stubby
can
Bob.
tell this thing is useless.
Keep going though. Let's just use the carbide bit. I just now remembered that all my drill bits are useless from drilling through a
Hey.
stainless steel gas tank.
I worked at a hot rod shop where every drill bit in the whole shop was useless. It would take you 2 hours to drill a hole sometimes.
Use that carefully and some eye protection.
Getting while getting the right size hole. Terrible.
What the hell?
Oh, that's nice.
Look at that.
You get a ground problem.
Yeah.
What are you grounded to? A rusty bolt.
God, man. Oh, is there a donut? Never
Yes.
mind. Oops. Works better when there's no donut.
Better hang that thing on the pipe.
You could turn that back down again. Can I get that flashlight?
Oh, it's right here.
Ugly.
And it matches the rest of it.
Oh, come on. A real one.
I can't see anything, but I think it's welded.
Is it a masterpiece?
It's a masterpiece.
Yep. Beautiful.
I love welding blind.
Makes it more exciting.
Yeah. No.
And then flip.
Oh,
Looky there.
maybe.
Wrench flip. Wrench
Come on.
flip, wrench flip.
Get on there.
Almost.
Alright, that gets you an adjustable one. A short one.
Might be.
O2 sensor is in. We now need to hook up our cables and run them into the cab of the car, where we'll do a nifty job of mounting that gauge. And then we test drive. Yay!
Not how you do things at home, kids.
Okay, what are you holding in your hands?
This is the wiring harness for our O2 sensor.
Okay. What are you about to do?
I'm about to run it through the firewall without a grommet because I don't care.
Worse than that, you're about to run it through the firewall behind a perfectly good grommet. Watch what he's about to do, folks.
Don't look. I don't know if it's even going to fit.
At home,
Oh, look, it fit.
you don't do this.
No, don't do this.
You cut the grommet and you put it through the grommet, or you find a blank grommet, which you know there's one here, because there always is.
But this is easy and fast, and we're going to be lazy about it.
And this is Jake's car, not mine.
Yeah, it's my car. So
And
I
those
can
are
do what I
Jake's
want.
hands, not mine.
I guess I can go pull that from the inside now.
And once he's got the harness in there, we'll plug one end of it into the O2 sensor, the other end of it into the gauge, and then it's just a matter of finding power, ground, dash lighting if he wants the gauge to light up at night, and there's a brown wire that we're going to talk about in a minute here, because the brown wire actually does something.
How far do I need to pull this? Be prepared for that.
All right, you ready to get an inside look at Green Hornet's interior?
It's exciting stuff. It's pretty mint.
Oh,
It's in good shape.
man. It's in really good shape. Now, you cannot butcher the gauge install like you just butchered the firewall
Well, look at
install
that
of that
tachometer,
harness.
man. That's professional. Zip ties.
Oh, wow, look at you. You didn't even use a hose clamp. You went straight for
I didn't
zip
have a
ties.
hose clamp.
Where are you going to go with the gauge on this deal?
That clock doesn't work. I thought we'd pull the clock out and make a little metal plate that the gauge mounts into.
Oh, but where's the gauge? That ain't going to look right, man. If you're really cheesy, you would just zip tie this gauge to that gauge right there.
I was gonna try to make it look decent.
Or mount it here, or, you know.
Well, we could mount it there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Pretty
little
easy.
bracket right there.
Okay, fine. I'll keep my clock. Cause I made it work and then it broke again. So I don't know what happened.
All right, so we're in here debating O2 sensor gauge placement, and I realize Jacob has got 2 out of 3 going on to the column right here. We've got the oil pressure there. The tack is right there, so I'm saying you need to balance it out. You need the trio. It only makes sense that wideband ends up right there.
Well, it's got to be up by the tack because when the shifter rotates the column down, the tack drops to about. There you go.
So you're saying left
Yeah,
hand,
but then that's in the way of my speedo.
left hand bias? What do you need a speedo for?
I guess I don't. I have a tack now.
Yeah, you have a tack.
Well, I just put it in, so I'm not used to it.
What do you want to do with this? It's your
I don't
call.
know.
It's your call. How much effort do you want to put into this? That's the question.
Well, let's see what.
You did spend $200 on this. I mean,
It was entirely too expensive. I just had my keys. What did I do with them? I was gonna rotate the column down where it goes. It's got a MagnaFlow keychain on it. And it's gone.
Is it the thing I just threw back there?
Well, that's one of them. Not in my pocket. It's in my hand. Wow. You didn't see that. I was holding it.
That didn't happen at all.
I hate when that happens. Makes you feel like an idiot.
Okay, so let's watch the tack move. Because I've done this. I understand.
And look where it sits. It's level when it's in drive. And so is the oil pressure gauge. And then I can still see my speedometer, my fuel gauge, my temp gauge.
So I dare you to just zip tie that gauge right there so that it's level when you drive. What happens when you park it? Does it hit the dash? Let's see.
Let's find out.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
That would work.
Look at that. It's like it was meant to be.
That's beautiful.
The zip tie engineering that is about to happen here
See, we don't even need this then.
will be legendary.
We'll be good. Now, what are we dealing with here? Am I going to need two? I think I might just need one.
Oh, if you don't have to double up, that's good, because that means it's just going to be stronger.
I don't know if you can consider this strong. Oh, man, that's so close. I got to double up. That is disappointing.
Wow, these are the 14.5 UV black weather resistant cable ties. These are not the good ones, actually.
Well, they're better than the white ones.
The good ones are at Home Depot. They come in a green and white package. Those are the only ones you buy. All the other ones, snap.
Well, this has been on here since September.
I need a sponsor.
Zip ties.
Yeah, I do. Let's go find... Hold on. Let me show... I'm going to give them a plug. Let's go show the people what I'm talking about. All right. Let's come down the hallway. I don't know if you guys have seen all the areas of the garage yet, but we're going to go to my cabinet. And this is where I keep the zip ties. And I really do have this many. This is the brand. This is what you buy. Commercial electric 14-inch cable ties. Meets military specs. That's the key. Flexible nylon. If you don't get flexible nylon, when you pull them too tight, they break in half. These are the ones. See the sheen on them? See that? I fully endorse these. Commercial electric, call me. Let's do something together here. Finnegan's Garage needs a sponsor. Here you go.
You bought 500 of them.
Oh, dude, I got them all. All in here. I got them 8-inch, 14-inch. I got all the inches.
Oh, I'm putting them backwards.
So we're doubling up zip ties here.
Oh,
and this requires a certain level of forethought and skill, because if you put the adjuster in the wrong place,
like I just did,
if you put it in the wrong place, that may hit the dashboard when you're in park.
The adjust? Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Wait.
I put it in the wrong side and it's stuck.
Don't waste.
I'm gonna fix it afterwards.
They're not sponsoring us yet. Don't waste. Look, how come you can't get that apart when I can push it apart with 2 fingers while holding a camera?
All right, whatever.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't rub it in.
It's that years of experience.
Yes, see, y'all are good with zip ties. It's scientific, right? This is how the professionals do it. Oh, this gauge is going right there, right? How's it gonna stay?
Well, you have to do a couple layers here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put one back here, I guess.
Why's the tack flopping so much?
Well, because it's held on by zip ties.
Man, you need a hose clamp on that song.
I do, but it'll work for our purposes right now. I almost need a spacer right there.
Yeah?
If we want to get professional.
Okay, I'm going to hook you up with some foam.
Some foam, that'll work.
Yeah. I'll be right back. Foam me. Thanks, Daniel.
No problem.
Right up your nose. See that? There's your spacer.
That's nice.
That foam came in the mail in a box containing... God, what was in this? Oh, might have been my header parts. Yeah, I think it was. And you know what? Look at that. That's the kind of level of packaging you get from stainlessheaders.com.
You're really trying hard for a sponsor. You're almost begging at this point.
Dude, this half-assed web show is not cheap. No wireless mic, Actually, I have it. I just forgot to wear it today because there's 3 of us.
You have one?
Oh yeah, I got one.
Really?
I got one. It doesn't matter that I have one. I don't know what I'm doing with the audio when I edit this stuff, so it still sounds like crap, and people still get their eardrums blown out when they're listening with headphones in. And it's not that I'm doing it on purpose. It's just because I don't know any better.
Nobody blames you. They find it entertaining, I think.
I think they blame me. And I understand. I ain't mad at them. I'm not going to shank fools over that.
That's almost too much. All right, I don't need to double it up.
Fabrication at its finest.
Yes, this is real fabrication. This is what the pros do at all those speed shops. Foam spacers and zip ties.
This thing.
That's pretty good. Look, it's straight.
Oh, it looks great. It's too bad it's going to be a projectile if you ever wreck this thing at 71 miles an hour.
71, because that's as fast as it goes.
That'll be the gain. Like, you were going 70, you're going to go 71 now with all our
and then it'll explode.
Speed tricks.
Well, I'll just take the air cleaner off.
Wear a helmet next time.
I hope I don't have to wear a helmet.
Bring a skateboard, because you may be needing it to get home.
Oh, gosh.
All right, on to the wiring.
That's pretty good.
Enough about zip ties.
It's AAC.
All right, so...
Unless you're saying almost two separate words.
Think about here for helmet.
Wait, what are all the different AMC acronyms? All makes combined.
All makes combined, any manufacturer's components. And he says almost a car, which that's stretching it.
Yeah,
Almost a car, that's kind of mean.
That's if you're from the south and use all as ALL. It does. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the wiring. So the gray cable, that goes to the O2 sensor. That contains the wires that will preheat the sensor. That brown wire is interesting. That's here, and that's a trigger wire. You can hook this to a normally open switch, and the situation where you would want to do that is if you're installing this O2 sensor on a car that has an unregulated charging system. And the reason for that is you want the exhaust to heat the O2 sensor before the wires of the wideband system start trying to heat the O2 sensor. And that's so that the exhaust burns off any condensation that might be on the tip of the O2 sensor. Because what happens is if there's condensation all over the end of that O2 sensor and the wideband unit starts powering it up and heating it, it'll damage the sensor. So Jake doesn't need this brown wire because his car has a regulated charging system. And what I mean by that is when the car is at rest and the engine's not running, this thing's only seeing 12 volts. The moment he fires the car up, the alternator is going to start charging the battery. That's going to jump the voltage up past 12 volts. And internally, the gauge knows that, and the gauge starts heating the O2 sensor. So it won't heat it when the ignition is just on. It'll only heat it after Jake starts the car, the alternator starts charging, and the voltage jumps up past 12.0. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah? Everybody got that? Okay. So then the rest of the wiring, red, 12 volts, switched ignition wire, white, that goes to the dimmer or the dash lights. Or if you're Jake, you're just going to put red and white together and have the light light up all the time.
Exactly.
Blue goes to a data logger. If you want the output of this gauge to go to a data logging system, that'll go there.
That's why I have it wrapped up.
And then black is ground. Okay. Alright, so let's watch the display.
Hey, look.
It's counting down because it's powering up. Should be warming up the O2 sensor right now.
I don't hear much of an exhaust leak, so that's a plus.
There you go.
Wow.
Says it's idling at 13.0, which is pretty damn good.
Look, that's not bad for rebuilding it in the parking lot at a hotel on power tour, and then adjusting it on 2 hours sleep. I'll take it.
Talking about the carburetor?
The carburetor, yeah.
So, the cool thing I like about this gauge, go ahead and move the shifter for me, is that, well, I guess the shifter's always going to be in the way, is that not only do you have the digital readout, but you've got LEDs in there that light up. And so green is close to stoichiometric. This is how you say it.
That's the word.
And if it goes red, you're lean, and if it goes amber, you're rich. So let's go drive around and see what happens.
All right.
So let's pretend you were drag racing again.
All right.
Did you load it up? Like
I did.
Power braked it?
Yeah.
Give me a little power
That's how
brake
we're gonna
action.
do.
Oh, going lean. Okay, let's launch it. Let's see what happens. Oh, she's lean. Oh, she's getting good though. Wow. A little fat, but as soon as you hit the gear change, it's good. This is not bad.
That's not bad
This
at all.
carburetor is not bad at all. What do you think, Daniel?
It's a single barrel, but that was all right.
Doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I never would have guessed that.
And look at that. It must get good mileage. Your part throttle cruising at nearly 17 to 1.
I'm very distracted by my new gizmos.
But right here, must go way high on the vacuum. Were you lifting right there?
I'm not on the throttle at all.
Okay, so engine making a lot of vacuum because you're coasting, and it's fat right there. Well, I'm calling this success. The gauge hasn't fallen off.
And you were ragging on me.
This engine is cruising between 12.5 to 1. We've seen as high as 15 to 1 at part throttle coasting, which means it's getting pretty good mileage. And at wide open throttle, it's pretty damn good. Even with at the gear change, it's pretty good.
It's
Like-
unusually really good.
Yeah, it's unusually good.
Well,
To be honest with you,
'Cause
I own it, so it's got to be decent.
It don't matter who owns it.
I'm afraid
just
to
saying
go.
that this is unusual for it to be that close.
Yeah, I'm genuinely afraid to go stick a header, an intake, and a brand new carburetor on this thing because I don't think it's going to get better. But hey, let's try it. So
Well,
we'll
I
do
don't-
that, and then you go back to the drag strip and see if it goes quicker.
The thing I'm wondering is if the factory manifold would flow good enough to support nitrous, or would it just be really, really rich once you put the nitrous in?
I don't care much about flow. I care about distribution, and that intake sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
This one?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it's bad. It's horrible.
I've not looked at the one you're about to replace it
It's
with.
not-
so
It's no better.
It's not much better, but it is better.
The only way.
So we're gonna go snap bolts off and make our life miserable for an intake that's not much better.
No.
Oh.
If we could put 2 carburetors on it, like 2 1 barrels, and halfway between the first 3 and halfway between the other 3, it'd be really good.
We could do that.
Yeah.
But do we want to put that
FT.
kind of effort into an engine that you want to blow up just so you can stick a Hemi in it?
Not really.
Not really. Alright. Do we just go straight to nitrous and forget the snapping bolts off in the cylinder head and try to swap an intake and a header?
I don't know.
We'll figure that out next time on Finnegan's Garage. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Nice segue.
You did.
I'm getting better at this. This is true. Alright, you ready? Go.
What am I supposed to do to the car?
I'm just talking about my side.
Yeah, you want your side.
Just looking at my side. Ready? Go.
You're terrible advice. I'm not trusting you.
Wait. Ready? Go. He's letting you out.
Well, how am I supposed to go?
Don't
There's
offend him.
cars.
Don't offend him. He's in a Ford. Don't offend him.
He's looking at this thing going, what in the...
A Mustang guy's not trying to hit you right now. That's good. Take that karma. Go with it.
Hold on a second. I'll go.
We're gonna die.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad. You've ridden multiple times in the Hornet now. What is your take on it? For a $1,350 station wagon that I drove cross country.
Oh, it gets no better than this thing. I mean,
And he drove it across country.
it's plush. It's sticky. There's a lot of DNA in here. I mean,
sticky.
for $1,300, how can you go wrong?
You could probably start a community on Mars.
And it made it across country.
It's a
What's
great
in it?
shade of puke too. It really is.
The green. It's perfect. And everything is green. The only thing that's not green is the headliner.
What happened there?
I don't know. I guess they gave up on the green.
Try to church it up top or something?
Yeah.
Two-tone?
This does need some slight improvement.
Wow.
It's still on there. I don't know. For a 19-second car, the odds of that getting forced off, pretty low.
I like this car so much.
Do you?
Yeah. Just like it is.
You can roll your window down.